lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Beyond. What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 110 of Podcast Beyond. Greg Miller, what's going on?
Nothing.
Ryan Clements, how you doing?
Hey, man.
Colin Moriarty, back again.
I'm back.
You're back.
Yay! Woo!
And I am Chris Roper, which means that it's
You're
time for the
back
Rope
again,
Report.
too.
I am back. Let's do the Rope Report.
Time for some news.
Let's see.
Sexy.
First piece of news that I want to mention this week. Holy crap, it has happened.
Oh, is it a home run?
No. Something that has been years in the making since the PS3 was first announced. The one title that a lot of people, some people knew what was happening, didn't really know what was going to happen. Were you going to be a hunter? Were you going to be driving a Jeep the whole time?
Were you going to be
Yes,
giraffe?
in fact, Africa is now available in North America.
Africa's out.
Yes.
It is out. Greg, how did you like it?
I gave it a big fat 3.5 out of 10.
Oh,
Making
man.
it
Triple
bad
0.5.
on the IGN scale.
That should have been our topic of the week this week.
It's your anti-Toto
Talking about
bias.
how disappointing that
if
game
that song
is.
was in there, it would have been at least a 4.
Yeah, well,
Well, there you go. Don't scratch it off your list. You should mention it.
No,
anyway.
I'm adding it to the list.
Oh,
It
okay,
wasn't
there you
on the I
Good.
missed that one.
So anyway, Africa is out. There's a couple delays that were announced this past week. iPad is now 2010 in the U.S., but in other territories, they're still trying to get it out in 2009. So there's that if you don't live in the U.S. Alpha Protocol was delayed to 2010. Some of those, I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Kind of a cool thing is that apparently a new Metal Slug game is coming to the PSP. That's always promising. Something that's rumored, which could be pretty cool if it happens, is that so Visceral, the guys, the EA studio that's in Redwood Shores that did Dead Space and they're doing Dante's Inferno, they are apparently, it seems to be working on a Jack the Ripper game, which could be pretty cool if it turns out correct. So we'll see how that goes. And then the only other piece of news that I have this week is that, and this is kind of cool, I guess, depending on who you are. It's good for parents and whatever around holidays times, is that you can now buy PSN stuff from Amazon.com. So my understanding is that with Xbox, you can, like Xbox Live, you can go on there, you can buy something, and then it'll download to your system automatically when you turn it on, I guess. With the PSN, it's not quite that simple, but you can go on, you can buy it, and it'll give you a code. So if you want to buy a little Johnny a game for holidays and you don't want to go to GameStop and all that, you can go to Amazon and order it and get a code, and then give them the code.
Seems dumb.
You can also actually
Middleman.
You don't have to just give the person the code. You can actually gift it. Like there is a field for email gifting.
Well,
too.
now, Greg, you said it's dumb, but here's
cool.
So first off, it's good for people that don't know how to use the PS3 or whatever. They just want to buy somebody a game. They can say, "Hey, go in here and buy me Wipeout or whatever." But
Just buy me a cool PlayStation Network money card.
right, you could buy that, but then you have to go through the extra thing. But well, again, I suppose that's true. But also, you can, and I guess this is true of this also, but you could use Amazon gift cards on there. Amazon is sales, so you can get it for cheaper than you might be able to on the PSN at some point. So we'll see. I mean, it's
We will see, Roper.
It's a nice
Time's
outlet.
going to tell on this one.
It's a nice outlet. Now, speaking of games coming out in stores, digital or not, Greg, what's hitting retail shelves this week?
Well, thankfully, I have the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors. Colin, you better sit down, buddy, because there is a lot of games coming your way.
all right, fine.
We got Demon Souls on. This is PS3 we're starting with. Demon Souls, Africa, NBA 2K10, Saw, Disney Sing It Pop Hits, Star Wars, Clone Wars, Republic Heroes, Operation Flashpoint, NBA Live 10. Over on the PSP. Hey,
I'm just laughing at the way you said
Operation
Flashpoint.
I got a lot of stuff here. A lot of games.
No, it's fine.
He's
You're reading
overwhelmed.
through a
He's
list.
overwhelmed.
Yeah,
When
it's
did
crazy.
the PSP has Obscure the Aftermath? That came out a while ago, didn't it?
Yeah, that's not this week. I don't think. Yeah,
It's on
that's,
top of
that's a little
GameSpot
old.
for some reason. Up next, NBA Live 10, NBA 10, The Inside, NBA 2K10, Star Wars again, along with Naruto Legends. PS2 gets Star
Akatsuki.
Wars, NBA 2K10, and Disney Pop It Sing It Encore Edition.
Wait,
Hey,
is it
at least the
Pop It Sing
PS3 got 2 games, or 3 games.
Yeah, not bad
pretty
for a PS2 game.
Yeah. Now, going through these, the ones that we've played so far, let me see here.
Africa.
Ryan, Greg, you've already said that Africa's no good. I reviewed Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Republic Heroes. That's not good.
Yeah, didn't give it a good score.
No.
did you?
Eric is currently playing Operation Flashpoint. It says that it's very good, but it's super hardcore.
All right.
Good
So-
for the hardcore.
Yeah, good for the very, very hardcore. So if you want to be in the military, then
Colin.
Well,
check out
I'm gonna have to
Operation
pick this one
Flashpoint.
up.
I believe that the folks who review the sports games appropriately liked them all, give
Okay.
or take. I don't know what Nate thinks of the Inside for PSP yet. He's still playing that.
Sam's reviewing Demon Souls. He likes that.
Yes, he does like that a lot. And to answer a question here, people have been writing and saying, "Where's the Demon Souls review?" We have had with the builds that we've gotten that Sam's reviewing, and the builds that we've gotten doesn't work correctly online. So basically, a retail copy was needed. Hopefully, he's getting that today, and then the review will be up in the next day or two. So I know that a lot of it seems like a lot of because there have been reviews coming out for that game for like the past month or so, and I think what was happening where people were reviewing the import version now that it's finally coming out here, even though that's not the final. But I'm not saying everybody's doing that, but some people started doing that, and so all of those millions of reviews you see out there are maybe not necessarily the one here. But anyway, we're making sure that the retail works online. Then that review will be up, but Sam likes it a lot. What else is on here? A bunch of And then Clayman's playing Saul right now. So
says it's better than the movies.
Doesn't take
that
much.
doesn't
That does not take much at all, no.
So there you go. Ryan, do we know what's coming out on the PlayStation Network this week?
Yes, we do. We got tomorrow. We have
or today.
Sorry,
we're
today.
recording on Wednesday.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
Man, the cat's out of the bag.
And
All
it's
right.
got a silver.
So today, Critter Crunch is coming out for the PS3.
Which Damon likes a whole lot.
Damon likes a whole lot. It's really gorgeous hand-drawn animation in that game. And then for the PSP, you can actually download NBA Live 10, as well as Darkstalkers Chaos Tower. And, of course, there's normal Guitar Hero and Rock Band content. There is a music pack for Little Big Planet. There's a new episode of Pulse. And according to the one and only Colin Moriarty, Mothership Zeta for Fallout 3 might be coming out.
Yeah, Endpoint Lookout, too.
Endpoint Lookout.
I mean, today.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, Thursday.
I think so, at some point.
Wrap it all up, right? That'd be the end of it. Though.
Yeah, that's the end of it.
Yep.
I downloaded them all so far, and I haven't played any of them.
Yeah, I downloaded them too. I had to play through them because I'm kind of verifying things. I don't know. I'm sure some of the readers have seen the reviews. Not too good compared to the 360 versions. I got to be honest. But
what's wrong with them? Why did you let me waste my money on this?
They just they lock up. The games lock up. Frame rate's really bad. I mean, there's just I've had a problem with every one of them. Major problems, including I wrote about in the reviews at the end of the spoilers. ... At the end of the pit and at the end of Operation Anchorage, there are important choices to make and characters to talk to. And both times I played through both games, things were broken. And if I didn't know how to fix those documented bugs or whatever, I can imagine people running around and just being like, forget this game, because there's nothing you can do. So.
Well, that's too
Not
bad.
good news.
There's some money I wasted.
That's
Thanks,
too
Colin.
bad.
But hopefully Game of the Year edition maybe fixes those and people can just buy them all.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there are issues that happen if you've played the game and then you have, it's installed and all that, and then you introduce the downloadable content and it doesn't jive well. I'm wondering if you get the thing that's got everything already in there, if it'll work better.
It seems like, they make it pretty clear when you download the game. They're like, make sure to have this version of the game like with a certain serial number or whatever. And so I guess the insinuation is that they have packaged everything in already with the Game of the Year edition, and hopefully it works a lot better because you won't be able to obviously play Point Lookout download with the Game of the Year edition. So I would wait if you want to play them, but you should play them. They're good.
It's too late for me, Colin. Couldn't save me.
That's all right. I'm sorry.
No tip of the week, huh?
Let's see. Look here for pick of the week. It's not Star Wars and it's not Africa.
The one that jumps out at me as an RPG player is Demon's Souls.
Yeah, it looks really good.
That's what it seems like it probably will be. Sam's forthcoming review pending, but that's what Demon's Souls seems like the winner.
Word to the wise, it is ridiculously difficult from what I hear.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
Very challenging.
It's great.
Yeah. There it is.
It's great.
All right, so just a tip. We got any trivia tips for this week? Just a tip. Put it in there.
So I don't... See, you yell at me when I make those sort of comments.
What comments?
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Anyway, I have some trophy tips.
Go.
What do you got?
You guys ready?
Let's hear it.
So, I don't know if I mentioned this offhand, but I can now confirm after playing and beating Tornado Outbreak, which is a game
He plays a tornado.
You don't actually.
Really.
You play as a wind warrior who creates tornadoes.
There you go. He outbreaks tornadoes.
Yeah, this is a game that was made by Loose Cannon, which is a studio founded by some of the ex-Sucker Punch guys. So you can actually see some of the... That's terrible. You can
but
see
they're also
some
starters.
Yeah,
There's
really,
something,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. So it
I like
cancels it all out.
Now it all makes sense why that looks like such a rip-off of Infamous. Clearly, they're like, all right, we're not doing another Sly game. These guys are like, well, whatever. We're going to go start our own thing. And they're like, now let's make him, he'll have crazy powers and he'll have blue.
It's
rip-off.
nothing like Infamous.
Does the guy, is he blue? Does he do blue things?
He has blue things.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Does he roam around a city?
Yes.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I rest my case.
It is funny because the cutscenes in that game are exactly like the infamous cutscenes, where they're like the panning like comic books and stuff. They're slightly animated.
Yeah, you're right. They're nothing alike.
This was a long. You're a friggin' tornado, and you
If
destroy
anybody
crap.
You just said that you're not a tornado, but you're a tornado wielder.
Well, when you
Now
wield
you can't even keep your story straight, Clements, huh? Your house of cards.
I'm this close to walking out.
Show me the money hat the ex-Sucker Punch guys gave you, filled with Sly Cooper balloons.
Balloons.
Why not?
God,
Yeah,
that was a
who
long
wouldn't want
tangent. The short story is that game has some very good and also doable trophies.
Doable.
So not only is the game surprisingly good for what would normally look like a budget game, but it also the trophies are manageable. It looks like a platinum is. I looked at it after you and I talked about it. The platinum would be a little bit of a challenge, but
Okay.
definitely not a hard one. Yeah.
Well,
What's the
good.
holdup? What's the challenging
laughing
portion
at?
of it?
I was just thinking about, you were saying a little bit of a challenge. I was just thinking about easy platinum trophies I got recently, like all the Pixar games. That
Oh,
should
yeah?
just be your habitual trophy tip of the week. Go play Up.
Go.
But nice, so you regret that you said in the end because you had to waste the whole weekend.
Yeah, I did. I got them in Up and what the hell is that other one?
Ice Age.
Ice Age, right?
What about Clyde with the chance meatballs?
You gonna play
I
that
might
one?
play that. Yeah, you know,
Colin,
the
you amaze me that you would play these games that are so bad.
dude, I'm on Greg's ass right now.
It's
on
coming
trophies.
up.
I'm
It's coming up fast.
I'm
yeah.
coming up.
Sam finally managed to get out of the 12.
Really?
So I'm at like 75 on 12 right
Yeah, I'm
now.
only at 21 or 22%.
Yeah,
so.
but Sam's still right in my crosshairs. If I can just get a little bit of oomph on that, if I get time to sit down and do Uncharted, there's one. All the SmackDown I have to play, there should be an easy one.
So in other words, Clemens, don't judge. Get in gear and get some trophies.
Okay, yeah. There you go. You have to get in gear.
All right, topic of the week. So next week on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it hits stores, a little game called Uncharted 2 Among Thieves comes out.
You might have heard of it.
Yeah, it's a
Big deal.
reasonably large game. It's okay.
Reasonably.
It's okay. If you like video games, you might want to try playing it. But anyway, so what Naughty Dog did was they went to 4 cities. I believe it was 4.
L.A., Seattle, Chicago, San Francisco.
Ooh, look at
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
That's 4.
You
That's
knew.
right. No, I'm just making sure. I'm
yeah.
going through my head, make sure that I'll check.
And so they took the game into theaters, played it on giant screens.
Big screens.
The theater screens, really.
Yeah.
And then had a bunch of people from the public
this is
come
where
in.
like Robert De Niro movies would be shown.
Yeah. I've also heard that some of these places have shown Armageddon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you're talking like Michael Bay stuff has been
Wow,
there.
that's
And
big.
now
That is
there's
big.
Uncharted.
I thought the room smelled of awesomeness, and now I know why.
Exactly. So anyway, so Uncharted was shown in these theaters to public crowds. Representatives from Naughty Dog were there. So
If you went, you got a free copy of the game.
There it is.
So wait not to come, everybody.
that's the business.
Dummies. Yeah.
Yeah. Was the place completely packed? Did they turn anybody away at the San Francisco one?
The way it was told to me, it was media, so there was me and a contingent of other hacks, and there were 50 PlayStation blog winners. So I think they had to win to get to come, and then there was a whole checklist of like who you were and stuff. You were
Right.
prearranged on teams because they did a multiplayer tournament after it. So there was a whole shindig.
Yeah.
It was cool. The
Shindig.
biggest thing. Everybody, they had mini Chicago hot dogs there.
Nice.
Poppy seed bun and everything. Oh, I was freaking out. It was so good. But the game looked good, of course.
Up with the game.
Yeah, so you got there, and they had the Fortune Hunter edition out there in a giant glass box. That is a big kit. I don't know how much. Have you ever seen one in real life?
No, I've just seen the pictures.
Like, you remember last Uncharted, they gave us that little press kit that came in a fake book.
right.
It was about the size of a normal book. It wasn't
Right.
crazy. This one comes in like a giant fake book, like a giant, bigger than a giant Bible. And you open it up, and inside is the dagger from the game.
And the dagger's life size, correct?
Yeah. It's the dagger, it's the game, and then it's a strategy guide. So they have this thing. It's gonna be huge when people start getting these things. Again, you can't buy them. You got to win them, or you got to get them sent to you from Sony PR people.
Right.
But so that was there. People all lined up. Everybody's very excited. They brought them all into the theater. They were showing the behind the scenes featurettes. Which, by the way, did you watch those on the?
I actually have only seen a couple of them.
All right. The ones? Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't watched them off my disc yet. But it's the one where they're talking to Amy or anybody in the train setting, right? Like they're in the train car.
Okay.
Okay. They're doing that they're shaking the train to match the background. So imagine someone sitting there interviewing Amy and Evan or whatever, and off to the side they're shaking the chair. Like,
Wait, this is why you're talking to her?
No. This
Oh,
is
in
the
the video,
video they're
okay.
showing that is on the behind-the-scenes featurettes on the disc or whatever. I thought that was very hilarious to picture that being interviewed about your game while someone shakes your chair to make it look like you're on a train. Silly. Anyways, that got done. Amy got up, made a presentation. They did a playthrough for everybody on a Sanctuary map that hadn't been seen before this. Of course, we had seen it, Rope.
Right.
Old news to us.
Yeah.
And then they did this giant, 13, 14 team tournament for multiplayer so that people who won would then get the Fortune Hunter edition.
Gotcha.
Nice.
And in there, they made the announcement that everybody's getting the game in a gift bag, and all 50 of the PlayStation Block kids flipped out. Like,
Yeah.
wow! Just screaming. So excited.
Paid in full.
Yeah, I know, right?
My money is wasted.
So it was cool. It held up on the big screen incredibly well. That game is gorgeous if you didn't
Yeah.
know.
It really is.
It's very
Yeah,
pretty.
Yeah. Multiplayer is fun.
Yeah.
Last night, I started playing some multiplayer co-op.
Oh,
My
yeah?
first time to get super hands-on with that. That is a blast.
Oh, yeah, it
I'm
is.
very excited for that.
And it's not easy.
No, not easy at all.
Even
yeah,
on
yeah.
easy, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's rough, dude.
I just remember walking by
Spit
and
it out.
hearing. Yeah, I was trying to think, and Sam was playing with you guys, right?
Yeah.
And I heard his voice come over the TV speakers, and it was just really funny to hear him complain.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard his voice in so long, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Something is wrong with the sticking of this cover
Yeah,
system."
Sam was so pissed last night playing co-op. Yeah. No, yeah, Sam, I got to see, people remember Sam used to be on probably about 100 episodes ago. Beyond,
Yeah.
he used to be a regular on this show, but then we got Colin somehow.
I'm sorry.
But Sam was at this, Sam was at this event too. We had a good time. Then we played some co-op last night. Good times all around. Story's kind of going nowhere. While I was there though, I did talk to Amy about
Amy Hennig?
Yeah. Oh, everybody knows her.
I'm just
we're on
saying.
she's been on Beyond before.
Could be Amy Smith, Amy Poehler.
Amy
knows?
Poehler would be huge.
Yeah.
I talked to her about Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
Let's drop that in. No, we talked about Uncharted 2, how it's released, its reception, where to go from here with the inevitable Uncharted 3. So let's go to that rope. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Greg Miller. I'm here with Amy Hennig. Amy, what's your official title nowadays?
Creative Director.
Amy, you have been on Beyond kind of before. As you remember at the Comic-Con panel, you got the whole introduction of what Beyond meant. So give me your best Beyond right now.
Beyond.
What am I? That was perfect. That was it. That's all it is. It's just a quick Beyond.
Was that it?
That
I'm
was perfect.
sorry. I sort of suck. I've been like living in a hole, an Uncharted 2 hole for about 2 years. So I don't know what's going on.
Now you're coming out of that hole. Tell me, what is that like to finally be? You're done with the game. I mean, the game's been pressed. It's in people's hands. How does it feel?
Well, it's a little bit like coming out of prison, but you're talking about the game itself, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like learning how to be a human being again. But it feels amazing. I mean, you really don't know when you're working on a game like that, especially when you're working on it that hard, that dedicatedly, that much of the hours of your life, right? You don't know whether it's good after a while, right? And so it's so cool to finish it and then see all the response from people out there. I mean, it's so gratifying and such a relief, I guess, to see how people are responding to it and how much they're loving the game. I mean, it's almost surreal.
At what point does that become a concern for you? I mean, in the beginning, you're setting out to go, off of Uncharted 1, this game that most people think is one of the greatest on the system. Now you're trying to set out for number 2. At what point does it become, yeah, we got this in the bag, it's great to be, oh, crap.
Yeah, you never say we got this in the bag. I mean, maybe some developers do. I mean, that's not really how Naughty Dog operates. We tend to be a little bit more self-critical than that. And mutually critical, which I think is actually why we do good work, because we never settle, and we always sort of call each other out on work that seems like it could be better, and so when we're in the midst of it, we kind of get, it isn't until you're about 90% of the way through that you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and thinking, wow, this actually might be pretty good. We might be pulling something off here. And until then, it really is an act of faith, a 2-year act of faith, which takes an incredible amount of discipline and sort of emotional control. And even then, it isn't until you start seeing the reviews come in and people on the message boards playing the game where you think, oh my God, we did it. We pulled it off. And often the game is something more than you even realize when you're working on it.
I know we're at an early stage right now because we're still, reviews are rolling in every day,
Yeah.
and the fans still haven't got their hands on it. What are you taking away from the reviews so far? I mean, obviously, tons of positive criticism, but I mean, as far as what you'd want to change for if there's an Uncharted 3, wink, wink.
Yeah, wink, wink, right? Although, like I was just saying, it's incredibly intimidating to think about how you move on to the next one.
Oh, you're doing it.
Oh, wait. Can I have a nap first? It's, because you don't want to repeat yourself. and you want to surprise people, and it's hard. It's hard when you're working in a genre that has a lot of tropes, and some of what we're doing is playing with those tropes, so you can't abandon them, but you can also easily fall on the wrong side of that line and be doing stuff that's almost too stereotypical and cliched. So how do you still challenge the characters and do interesting things and bring up new conflicts with still having returning characters, but new, it's the same thing we went through on Uncharted 2, and we just have to go through it again. And again, I think just the blessing is working at a company like Uncharted, where it's such a collaborative environment that we all support each other and making sure that we're doing the best work that we can. I forgot your original question because I'm so tired.
No, you're doing fine. Don't worry.
Well, I bet you forgot your original question.
No, I would never forget my original question.
I think I answered part B. But
what do you take away from your criticisms?
What do I take away from the
so
criticisms?
far? I mean, it's so early.
Well, I mean, I guess there's two ways I would answer that question. One is, it's really cool to see some people's reactions who've actually been kind of moved by the game, and I don't mean that in a way that's too touchy-feely. I mean the fact that...
No. This is not something that's well known outside, because I didn't mention in my secondary comments in the review. I did tear up at the end of the game, and I know for the readers, this is going up on Thursday, obviously, way before people should finish the game. I did, in fact, tear up towards the end of the game. You know what I'm talking about, when one of the bigger moments happens. So no, totally, touchy-feely is all there.
And I've had more than one man come up to me and say that, which is really nice, because it's like, wow, if we've engaged people that much emotionally, that's awesome. But it's also just when people say that it transported them and it made them feel nostalgic for their childhood, and it gave them that sort of warm feeling of the kind of that cozy feeling of curling up with this great adventure story. It's like, well, then I don't need any other praise or plaudits than that. Just knowing that, because I've had that experience with books and movies and games, and to know that we provided that for somebody else is just sort of mind-blowingly cool. I don't even know how to express it. As far as criticisms of the game, I mean, again, I wouldn't want to go into too much detail because people haven't really played it yet. Yeah. There's a few things that I would want to work on still in balancing, I mean, we work really hard on that. We do a lot of focus testing, and we really try to make sure that the pacing works and the flow is there, and people aren't brick walling on things, and that there's a right balance between adventuring and exploring and puzzling and combat. But it's, it's always fine-tuning. I think we're just getting better and better at it.
Cool. October 13th, right around the corner for listeners. If you were in their shoes, what would you do? You tear open the package, you put it in. Are you going to play single player, or are you going to jump straight to multiplayer?
I'm a single player person, I gotta say. I mean, that's just always been...
Why? Why is that for you?
Because I like letting myself get absorbed into an experience like that. And although it's really fun to play competitive or cooperatively, it's not the same as curling up with the controller and just entering that world and letting the outside world sort of melt away like you do with a good book. That's my favorite thing. And so games that do that are, they're gold. As far as multiplayer goes, again,
overrated. Sucks.
No, it's not overrated at all. I'm really proud of what we've done with this. And it's like, and to be honest, it was always funny to me when I was reading how concerned people were about, the single player is going to suffer because they're working multiplayer. We knew all along that we had a big enough team and we'd had people dedicated. I barely worked on the multiplayer. I really didn't, to be honest. I made sure that, they had what needed from the dialogue from the characters and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the gameplay of it, my focus was completely on single player the entire time. So I knew that we weren't going to let one of the experiences suffer. But for me, in a multiplayer sphere, I much more enjoy like a cooperative experience.
Which the game has.
Yes, it has the co-op as well. So I'm actually. So once again, it's so funny when you're just sort of heads down and working on a game like that, and then you look them up and realize, oh my God, not only do we make a bigger single-player game than last time, it's like, it depends how you play, but it's a good third longer than the last one for sure. But we also made a feature-length movie with pretty darn high-level graphics. We made a really deep competitive multiplayer experience and a really deep cooperative online experience, and it's like, and we did that in about 18 months. Other than killing ourselves, I'm not quite sure how we did it or how we'll do it again, but it's again, we just sort of, it's one of those things where you're just working a mile a minute and you just kind of look up and go, oh, look what we did.
Yeah. How far along in Uncharted 3 are you? Are you taking suggestions for Uncharted 3?
Sure, go. Give me one.
Titanic, underwater, Nathan Drake.
Oh, what game have you ever played with underwater mechanics that was any fun? Name it.
BioShock. Burn.
No, that wasn't underwater. I'm talking like underwater mechanics.
Okay, Jaws on the NES.
You're going back way too far.
Amy, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say to fans? This is their final time to hear you before the game comes out.
Oh, no pressure. Just have fun, enjoy the game. I hope people just love it. I mean, that's really it. Is I hope that we provided the kind of experience for people that I know I'm so grateful to have received from other game makers over the years.
Great. Well, one more final Beyond.
Beyond. How's it?
Beyond. It was excellent.
So you got to do it for me first. How's it done?
Beyond.
Beyond.
There you go. Perfect. Everybody, thank you so much, Amy.
All right. Bye.
Wow, what a class act that Amy is, huh?
Yeah.
You always sound so
She's very-
brutally sarcastic when we
Do I?
talk.
No, she's great. I love Amy.
Wow, what a class
It's
act.
hard to segue out of something when you have to add it in post and it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
actually there. It's like acting to a blue screen.
Yeah.
You're like, eh.
You know, you just need to be a professional about it.
Oh,
All right,
so-
wait, let's do this. All right, pretend the interview's happening right now.
Okay.
Now, Ryan, act out a segue after it.
Okay, you want me to do it right now?
Right now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Amy. That was an excellent interview. We
Except
appreciate
that
your
that's the
time.
problem. I'm going to stop you right there because I'm sure, even though we're not hearing right now, because it's going to be added in post again, I'm sure that Greg also said that during the thing. So now it happens
and
twice.
I'm the one who
He-
ends it.
no.
Here, I'll do a better one.
right.
Pitch it to me now.
All right, interview going on, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, doctor, I tell you, sometimes it's like I have a garbage bag filled with jalapeno poppers. Oh, Jonathan! 1-3.
I'm in the
does
room
that
and I can't understand what you're saying.
What is that?
You have a garbage bag filled with jalapeno
Ryan,
poppers.
see, again, Greg has proved that it's very difficult to segue into something that you're not listening to at the moment.
I still think mine was fine.
Yours was terrible.
Man.
What? What are you talking about?
It was fine.
It was totally great.
It was fine if they
I-
were here in the room.
Well,
But it's
I
not.
had never heard the interview before, so I'm just going
That's
on
the
the
problem.
assumption where, you know.
There's the problem. You gotta pretend like Industrial Light and Magic's already done its work, and you can see it a year from now.
Ooh.
But you can't.
Oh.
Beyond.
Anyway,
All right, and Uncharted next week.
there you go. Uncharted. Go buy the game.
As soon as it comes out, I mean, I'm already playing a lot of it, but I should be playing a lot of it then too. So look for edited beatdowns then.
Yeah.
Cool. For sure.
Time for some reader mail. First piece of mail. Greg, do you want to take care of this one since you contacted the
Sure,
recipient?
yeah. Cisco Kid wrote in and said, Beyond.
Beyond.
Hey guys, absolutely love the podcast. I've been a long time listener. I do have one question though. What happened to Parker, the official podcast Beyond Turtle? Did he commit suicide after the release of Turtles in Time Reshelled?
no.
Thanks, gents, and keep up the good work. He's a turtle, so we don't talk about him that much.
Yeah.
He lives in an aquarium. He's not. Anyways, I still went to Walter, the owner of Parker. And Walter reports back, he's alive and well, eating, swimming, and I haven't told him about Reshelled. It's better he not know.
True
There you go.
There's the official update. Parker's
True
good.
enough.
Official turtle still officially alive.
That game does suck, by the way.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Do you remember the Coming Out of Our Shells tour, though? That was awesome.
What about the Vanilla Ice rap, the turtle rap?
Also-
Ninja
Or
rap?
Ninja rap, yeah.
Go Ninja, go Ninja,
Yeah.
go.
Those were the days.
me the
Flyboy2057 writes in, and Ryan, this is a good one for you.
Hi.
He says, "Does the Final Fantasy story continue from game to game, being Final Fantasy is the franchise, or could I play Final Fantasy 13 without ever having played another Final Fantasy?"
What a stupid question. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a fine question if you've never played the game before and you've been living under a rock for 20 years.
That's not nice.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. You can absolutely play 13 without playing anything else because, as is the case with almost every Final Fantasy game, they all occupy their own universe. They just have common themes, but that's all there is to it. Different characters, different world,
It's a good answer.
different everything.
There you go. Matt writes in, and he says, well, we'd like to see some way of tracking how you're doing on trophies. For example, in Fallout 3, you have to kill 300 humans, and you just see that, you just have to kill 300. You don't know how far you're going, and he wants to know, maybe you could set a trophy as the active one and see where you're going. It tells you in updates. What I really, really like a whole lot was the orange box on the 360. You do the achievements for that. Under every single achievement, when you look at them in the game, had a little meter that showed you how close you were to achieving all those
Some
things.
people do that still. Like
And
Wolverine did it.
Yeah.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 recently, they do it too.
Yeah.
That's really
Basically, Raven
helpful.
does it.
They need to do it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So those things are awesome. I like having the meter there so you can quickly see what it is.
Uncharted's a
even
good
if it just
example of
tells
one
you.
that I thought always neaded one.
Yeah.
Because it's like kill 50 people with
you
a
have no
shotgun.
idea how
Okay,
many.
all right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, having those meters would be great. You don't really need to set anything as active. You can just go look at the list.
It's Uncharted, and it's Uncharted.
There you go. Mike writes in. He says, why is the UMD and download version of Gran Turismo the same bloody price? Is it wrong to think that the online version should be cheaper since there is no overhead in creating discs and boxes for them? Any thoughts? Yes, obviously that's cheaper. Also cut out to the middleman so they don't have to pay them. However, the issue here is that GameStop and all these people, Best Buy I assume, are not happy with the forthcoming digital download revolution that will, PS4 is no games and retail and all that kind of crap. The problem is that they're not getting their cut. So if Sony comes out and says all of our download games are 10% or 20% cheaper, $10 cheaper or whatever than the retail ones, nobody's going to buy retail anymore.
Yeah.
Now GameStop gets mad and they don't carry them anymore at all. So in order to appease the stores, the prices have to be the same. Granted, just like you could anything else, maybe the Amazon thing will introduce cheaper prices online, same as you could find sales for UMDs. But that is the reason. So
And it's lame.
It is lame, and it seems like a vicious cycle too because.
How are you ever going to break free? How are you ever going to get away from it?
With something like GameStop refusing to carry like a PlayStation product because they're getting undercut or whatever, then like someone's not going to be able to get their Sony gear, then they're just going to go somewhere else. It's not like everyone's going to stop carrying it just because they're getting undercut. So
right.
It would be nice if these things were cheaper. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but
Yeah.
And that's just Colin's way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Live simple.
Shilor Boss, whatever that is, says, should I play God of War Chains of Olympus, the PSP game, before or after I play the collection? Because Chains of Olympus is a prequel, but it was released after God of War 2. So for my money, and I've only played through Chains of Olympus once, and I'm kind of remembering back to the first two God of Wars and how the story works. But for my money, this is sort of the Metal Gear thing where you can play them out of order and pick up the story, but the game was created assuming that you'd played 1 and 2, so there's kind of throwbacks to that sort of thing. I don't think that there's really a whole lot of spoilers, but stuff will have a bigger impact if you kind of know what's coming and then play it in that order. It would be sort of like now watching the Star Wars prequels in order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then when you get to Empire, you already know that Vader's Luke's father.
Yeah,
and then but anyway.
That's a good
Whoa, wait, what?
Spoilers.
I know. Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I would play them in the order of release. That's how I would do all that kind of stuff. Travis says, where do you think Sony and the PlayStation 3 would be today if it didn't have a built-in Blu-ray player or if Blu-ray didn't win the format wars? Beyond.
Screwed.
PS3 would be totally effed.
Now, wait, this is kind of a two-part question. Two-part question with multiple parts, subheadings therein. A, if Blu-ray hadn't won the format war, Sony would be screwed.
Yeah.
That would be a massive problem. Everybody agrees on that one.
Yeah, because you figure that was its one lifeboat for so long. He said, well, it's expensive, but it's still the cheapest Blu-ray player.
Right. Now, the thing is, okay, assuming that Blu-ray went where it is and it's winning or whatever, or if, that didn't happen, but if it had not had the Blu-ray drive, now you have two scenarios here. A, that it's not, you don't have that tie-in of people buying it because it's a Blu-ray player, right? So you kind of miss that. But B, it would have been cheaper to produce and wouldn't have come out at $600 originally.
Good thinking.
So it's really hard to say because it wouldn't have had that, but it would have also been cheaper, you would think anyway.
That's a good point.
So I don't know. That's a tricky one. I think that, and also it may have come out earlier. I don't know how much Blu-ray versus the cell had it come out, a year after the 360. But had it had a DVD drive and it came out in either the same time the 360 did or 6 months later, like it was originally announced to come out in the spring of 2006, had it come out at that point, then the sales margin probably wouldn't be as different if it came out at the same price. So it's really hard to say. I'm glad that it's in there.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people are, but
Wouldn't it affect what could be stored on a disc as well?
yeah,
So
I mean it would have been the
bigger,
same
more
thing.
ambitious.
So I mean you may not have
Metal
seen
Gear
something
4
like
would
Metal
have
Gear.
sucked.
Yeah.
Well,
like
for
7
instance,
discs.
isn't Final Fantasy 13 will fit on one disc, but for
I don't think it'll fit on one disc on a 360.
but on 360 it's going to be on several discs.
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
think it will be.
So I mean, it's
That's the.
it's a good
rumor
storage
anyway.
medium too, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you may have had the thing where some games would have had to be multiple discs or installed from multiple discs or something. Like Uncharted is a complete side of a Blu-ray, so it's 25 gigs or whatever it is. So, yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway,
That game is huge.
yeah. The Echo November writes in, he says, at E3, Sony said that the PSP Go wouldn't completely replace the fat PSP, but do you think Sony will ever phase out the fat PSP in favor of the Go? Before we answer this one specifically, let me just remind everybody of something else in case you don't follow it. When the Nintendo DS was announced, Nintendo said that it would not replace the Game Boy Advance.
Exactly. 3 pillars.
Or the Game Boy SP or whatever it was.
Is that
yeah.
what they call it? 3 pillars.
3 pillars. Look at how that one turned out.
It's just so you don't stop buying the PSP fat. I mean,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the only reason. Of course, they're going to phase
And technically, the fat is referring to the 1,000.
it out. Right.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
Well,
We'll
technically,
call it
can they
3,000.
phase it out? Because if they phase it out, you have to have a retail solution for GameStop.
Yeah, exactly. They would have to have a solution to get UMDs onto your PSP.
Well, you can just add a memory stick and download the games on there.
But I'm saying, like, you have to make, I guess, like, what,
I
an
see what
empty
you're saying.
Patapon box, like something GameStop can carry to sell to kids.
So now we're back to that problem again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as easy as the DSi one was. Or
Yeah.
DSi,
The other
DSi.
thing too is that the PSP 3000, which is on store shelves, is what $70 cheaper than the Go.
Yeah, it's like what,
$70 cheaper. So if it was only the Go and the Go was still at $250, now you've got a problem where nobody's gonna buy the system because it was cost what it did 4 years ago. So it needs to be there. However, when the Go comes down to $150 eventually, then maybe the thing will go away. I don't think that the 3000 is going to go away until the PSP Go is somewhere around the 150 mark.
Okay.
So, Drew, whose PSN name is Edward.
Nice.
I don't get that one.
Twilight's big right now.
Oh.
And there's an Edward in that.
Is there?
There's also an Edward
How
in
do
Final
you
Fantasy
know
IV.
that?
Because I remember Team Edward.
Yeah,
I can't put it into context,
bard?
but I remember those shirts.
Oh.
I've never seen this
I
Twilight.
remembered, yeah.
He writes in and he says, I've been wanting to purchase Pixel Junk Monsters since I purchased my PS3, but now that Monsters Deluxe is released on the PSP, should I keep thinking Encore every time I
Yeah,
was
I
at
know,
the
right.
pause for a
They
second.
keep
Anyway,
changing the names.
yeah, so Deluxe. Should I pick that up or just get the original?
I'm pretty sure last week Edward drew that when we did Pick of the Week and named it Pixel Junk Monsters, I said to buy that one because it's the definitive version. That's the one you should be buying. You don't get any trophies for it. That's the downside.
Pixel Junk Monsters Deluxe.
Yeah, it'll always be with you, though. It can always be in your pocket. You can sit there, you can try to rainbow everything, go crazy.
It's like the graphics aren't as good, man.
Yeah, they are.
They're not as sharp.
Yeah, they are.
It's not HD.
It's tiny. It looks HD.
Yeah, well, yeah, you would think that.
Not to mention, were you really playing Pixel Junk Monsters originally for the amazing
Sure.
graphics?
Oh, it's visuals,
Look
man.
at him dance!
Look at him dancing!
Your hair standing straight up.
Whoa, the lightning bolts are coming out of the
Yeah.
TV.
All right, so yeah, Pixel Junk Monsters Deluxe. By the
There
way.
you go. Shat Happens writes in, he says, why hath Sony of Japan, I'm not going to read it the way he wrote it, but why did Sony of Japan decide to place the analog nub on the left side of the PSP Go? Had they chosen to place the nub on the right side, I have to read this weird because he wrote it weird. Had you placed it on the right side, we could play with real first-person controls where the right analog stick will let you freely look around. The directional cross, anyway, why is it on the left side rather than the right?
Because you want to hit the buttons with your right. You want to hit triangle, square, circle.
Correct. You want to be able to move a character in third person on the left easily, or drive a car, or whatever else.
Yeah, plus it was there on the original PSP, so...
The left analog stick is way more useful than the right, although we do really want the right in there also.
Yeah.
But if you only had the
Add
right, that
both.
would suck. Yeah. Justin writes in, he says, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the trophies in Uncharted 2. I saw the list and there appears to be a limited amount of trophies for playing online.
A great move.
Only
Yes.
2.
Everyone should do that.
Why would Naughty Dog create limited amount of trophies, he said a different word, for the multiplayer, which has a lot of replay value?
Because you're going to play multiplayer no matter what. It's a ton of fun. It doesn't matter that there's in-game awards to get there. You want
You already get levels and you buy perks and all
You
that
want to
kind
get
of
the
stuff.
money, you want to buy the perks, you're going to get level up, you're going to have this party system. I mean, there'll probably be DLC for, have they ever announced anything or talked about that?
They've been kind of talking about it a little bit.
I bet then for sure,
Yeah. So you're already getting it. But the other thing for me, too, is I'm a much bigger single-player guy than I am multiplayer. I don't have a whole lot of time to play at home because I got the kid and all that kind of stuff. So if I have the choice between playing through a story that's going to, I'm going to learn stuff versus just playing online and shooting people in the face for...
And getting killed. If you're not on there right away playing,
Right.
everyone's
It
going
can
to
be
jump out to
frustrating
this
for some
giant
people.
lead and be
Meanwhile,
dominating you.
everybody that buys the game is going to play through single player, and hopefully a lot of people, but it would be a smaller percentage will be playing through multiplayer. So they're like, we'll give the people that are playing through single player all the trophies.
That's
and
the
then
way it
and then
should
and the
be.
trophies and the trophies of multiplayer I think were done really well, where they just say play through this
play a game.
once,
Yeah.
try it out, and we'll give you a trophy for it.
Yeah.
The
games that put like Killzone, like be in the top 2% or whatever, like that makes a platinum unattainable. Like it's almost to the point where I can't dedicate that much time, or nor will I ever be that good because there's so many people who want to just do that all the time.
They did it with Resistance 2 as well and Wolfenstein and stuff. It's just not fun when you finish a game and you really finish it completely and you have 25% of the trophies.
25% of the trophies.
It's a little ridiculous. Yeah. I dumped like 15 or 20 hours of gameplay into Wolfenstein. I got like 18% of the trophies. It kind of sucks.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I think they made the right move, and I think that's a move that's in touch with the way most people that get trophies feel, too.
Yep. So there you go. That's the end of Reader Mails. Anybody have anything else to add to that?
Yeah.
Man, all right, good. Ryan, what papers do you have in front of you there?
I have some hits of the week.
Ooh.
Just because we haven't been, or PSN hits. Sorry, that's what I meant. Because we've been kind of slacking on that. We keep on being like, oh crap, forgot to print stuff out. But do you want to do that now?
Yeah, why not?
All right, cool. So we have a double PSN hit because we messed up a last few weeks. First comes from Mark, a gamer in the UK. I've talked to this guy online a bunch. Really nice guy. He's a huge Beyond fan. His PSN ID is Freya-Ann. He is a dude, but he has 2 girls in his PSN name. Freya, Freya -Ann, ANNE. And then the other one from Max. Bear with me on this one. It sounds familiar. I think he's written into us before. But WXGTXW.
Let me see this.
So basically
W by
it's-
GT by W.
Yeah. What?
Width by Gran Turismo by weight.
No, you're they're gonna
No, that's
confuse
not right.
everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
So yeah. Anyway, it's all just one word. WXGTXW. That's Max. Max is also a big
Spell
Beyond
out X.
listeners. You may hit them and find them in various games and have fun and laugh and prance through fields together
And play
drink
and
lemonade
rejoice.
and get giant garbage bags full of friggin'
Jalapeno
Jalapeno
poppers.
jalapeno poppers. And Greg, do you want to do that this
No,
time?
I'm not.
I think you should.
I'll only screw it up.
No, do it. Ready?
Yeah, that wasn't right.
That was awesome.
I don't know.
Practice at
I
home.
like that.
That's how Ryan sounds
Practice
to
in
me.
front of a mirror, maybe. I'll help you out. All right, that kind of brings us to the end of the show, I think. Does anybody else have anything to add?
Uncharted next week.
Yeah.
Look for us online.
Oh, and the guide's up too, so you guys will have plenty of help.
That's a good question. I think I answered this on the board. But so people were wondering why our Uncharted guide's up before the game comes out. Well, they gave away copies of the game at those theater events, and now
Yeah.
people are having it and are
Right.
posting how to get through the
Normal
stuff online
human
anyway.
beings are out there.
So we figured let's kind of put up there. But we only posted the kind of
Well,
beginning
yeah,
parts of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the walkthrough is, it's pretty thorough, and it's I would say a majority of the game, but a lot of the appendices, the treasures and stuff we haven't, because I didn't anticipate that I was gonna have to publish it until Monday. So,
Right.
well,
So it's not complete yet.
So it's definitely not complete. But by the time most, all you guys have the game in hand, or mid next week, it'll be done.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make videos of all the treasure locations, because I will tell you, people, that the treasures, there's more of them. There's 100 instead of 60, and they are extremely well hidden. So you're gonna
Yeah,
need
I
some
think
help.
I didn't do a ton of searching for it, but I looked around corners like when I walked through a door and stuff, and I found I think 25
Yeah.
out of the 100 when I finished the
Yeah,
game.
they're not messing around. I'll tell you that much. So.
I still remember walking over to your desk one day, and Drake was just like balanced precariously in this like black corner. He was clipping through a wall, and you're like, "I'm just trying to find treasures, bro."
Yeah, the things I do to find treasures, and I'm still missing a few, so I got to go back and keep looking. But that'll be done for you guys next week.
There you go.
Everybody, give Colin a big thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll be using your treasure guide.
Good. Yes, you need those trophies.
I know.
Yep. Housekeeping stuff is go on iTunes and rate us, please. It gets the listeners up. Then we get more PSN hit of the weeks, and then you get to do more of that, and then more people come in, and then
And you get to run through
giant
more fields
snowball.
together.
Yeah,
More
and then
drink more
rejoice and
lemonade.
drink more lemonade.
Eat more
Giant
jalapeno
bags of
poppers.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at IGN.com. You can follow me, Chris_Roper.
We're all on Facebook.
We're all on Facebook. If you want to be in reader mail, email us at beyond@ign.com.
Beyond.
Very
Beyond.
easy to remember.
At
Beyond.
IGN.com. Oh yeah.
And
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
What do you got?
I was just going to say, I wanted to say thank you, because remember I complained, you might not have been there, it was either last week or the week before, I complained that all my friend requests from Beyond listeners had totally
tapered
leveled
off.
off, and I was like, do we only have that many fans, really? So I complained, and the people answered, and I started getting like 10 to 20 friend requests a day again, which was really nice.
There you go.
That's
there you
pretty
go.
I appreciate that.
And-
Yeah, we're all on Facebook. So you can find us all in there.
Yeah, and people message me a lot on PSN. Like I said on my blogs, I have no problem answering. I'm sorry if it takes a while. I don't have my keyboard at home, so I have to bring it home. I'm going to do that tonight so I can answer with my backlog of messages. So I apologize for that.
Colin's such a nice
And
guy.
I'll also, if you're on my friends list and you don't sign up for 30 days, you're out. So I'm going to cut some people today.
That's actually not a bad idea. So my thing, to say that is,
You're out.
I have, I believe, 95 friends on my list, and I always have 5 that are pending.
Yeah.
And I don't ever accept those guys because if I have to have other people added on there, that means I have to decline somebody that I've already befriended. So I'd rather just not accept people than kick them off later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I'm not accepting you and you're trying to do that over and over and over again, that's why.
Yeah, and apologies for kicking you out. It's just I want to have my list as active as possible. So there should be some room for more people to play. No games because I don't play online. But if you want to talk. I'll
Well,
be
there you go. All right, that's the end of the show there.
Beyond.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week at episode 111.
Oh, don't forget the song.
And the song.
By the way.
Ryan, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a great song sent in that one Chris Roper really enjoyed from Henrik. I'm going to say that that's how you say his name, even though I have no idea.
Could just be Henrik.
It could just be Henrik, but I think Henrik sounds better.
Okay.
He sends us the song "All Your Beyond Are Belong to Us."
Nice.
Let's take a listen. And beyond. More beyond.
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 How are you, gentlemen? All your beyond are belong to us. You are on the way to destruction. You have no chance to survive. Make your time. Ha ha ha. All your beyond, your beyond, your beyond. All your beyond are belong to us. All your beyond, your beyond, your beyond. All your beyond are belong to us. All your beyond, your beyond, your beyond. All your beyond, your beyond, your beyond. All your beyond are belong to us. All your beyond, your beyond, your beyond. All your beyond are belong to us. Ha ha ha. Vampires drive. Ha ha ha. All your beyond are belong to us. All your beyond are belong to us. All your beyond are belong to us.